I spent about nearly 2 weeks in hospital in Vietnam, and I remember when I got out of hospital, I went round to see a mate who was in the band that I'd played in. Both his parents were school teachers, one secondary, one primary, and they were like a second family to me before I went in the army. Anyway, I rocked up at his place, and normally I just walk in and say, "It's John here." But the door was locked, so I knocked on the door, and my mate's father came and stood behind the fly-wire door. I said, "How are you?" And he said, "Oh, you're back." And I said, "Yeah, is Steve home?" And he said, "No, he's not home." And with that, my mate's mother come and stood behind the father, and she said, "You're no longer welcome here. We don't allow baby and women killers into this house." After a few expletives, I never ever saw them again. The worst spot in the tank is the gunner. He sits right down in the bowels of the tank, right next on the right-hand side of the gun as you're looking forward. And if you were to extend your elbows out either side, you'd be hitting the gun with your left elbow and the side of the turret with your right elbow. And there wasn't a lot of room. You might go in at, say, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you wouldn't get out till, say, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of the time you didn't even know where you were going because you had such a small, narrow opening to look through. If you went through, say, some of the bamboo thickets in the jungle, often there were big ants' nests up in them, big green ants' nests. And if the tank hit that bamboo thicket, the nest would often drop down on top of the turret, and all the ants would be crawling around you, and you sat there in a lather of perspiration the whole day. Near where we were based at Nui Dat, there was a village called Berea. We used to take all our laundry, and the village made some money out of it. The VC found out that the village was doing the Australians' laundry. So they came into the mayor of Berea and said to him that if he didn't stop doing the Australians' laundry, he would kill them. They would kill him and his family. For a period of about 2 weeks, we had a squadron of tanks, 4 tanks and infantry surround his house. He had quite a substantial house. The very night that the Australians left, the VC came in and they cut all their throats, the mother, the father and all the children, and put them out in the street so the locals could see if they didn't do what they were told, that's what happened to them. That made me feel, this Vietnamese killing Vietnamese. And they were innocents. Okay, they were trying to make a quid out of doing the laundry. But the VC didn't see it that way. That made me feel as though we were there doing some good. I was in the centre tank, and there was a tank on the right and a tank on the left. The 2 forward scouts from that group moved into the jungle, and they got it about maybe 150 metres into the jungle, and we heard 2 very loud explosions. One scout was blown to pieces, nothing left, just a body bag job. The other guy lost an arm and a leg and half his face, and he was still alive. He was screaming. We could hear him. So we were told to move into the jungle. 2 VC, I didn't see them, jumped out of the bunker with an RPG-7, which is a rocket-propelled grenade. The first round came through just below the barrel in the front, blew our driver's head open, and he was unconscious in his compartment. So we couldn't back out either because we couldn't get to him. The next one came through on the left-hand side where my loader was and cleanly took my loader's kneecap off. Then the third one that penetrated came through on my right. All the upward explosion blew the seat apart and took all my crew commanders' hamstrings, glutes away, just blew them away, as if a big shark had bitten them. Now I copped it where I was sitting in my back. So I copped all that hot metal and shrapnel in my back. And I knew I got hit, I could hear it sizzling. They put me on a stretcher and slid me into the Huey on the floor, There was one stretcher above me, and that was the bloke, the infantry guy that was badly wounded. But I looked down at my chest and I could see a pool of blood on my chest because I didn't have a shirt on. I thought, Jesus, the shrapnel's gone right through. And the medic said, no, it's your mate above you. His stretcher was just full of blood and they were canvas and it just leaked through onto my chest. We'd been in the air for no more than 15 minutes and he came down to me, the medic, and he said, your mate's dead. I didn't even know the infantry bloke. Being a part of a team in the army is similar to being a part of a team of a football club. You've got to stick with your mates, be there to back them up if they need it, show leadership, show a bit of strength and courage, and of course the number one thing is mateship. If you're mates, you'll work together as a team a lot better. Our experiences coming back from Vietnam, where we were hated when we came back by just about everybody other than our families and people who knew us and some of our friends. For that reason, a lot of Vietnam veterans didn't tell anyone other than those that knew they went before they went. They never talked about it, and they didn't want people to know that they were a Vietnam vet, which I think is a disgrace. You know, I'm proud to be a Vietnam vet. We're not there to glorify war. I hope there's no more. But at the same time, some good things come out of it. My best mates still are my Vietnam vet mates. I had a lot of mates beforehand with the band and footy and cricket and all that. Very rarely see them. My Vietnam mates, I do.